Monad Crypto is about to take over and replace Visa and Mastercard in the next coming few years. Now, before you begin arguing with me, I have compelling facts that will guarantee that this is actually the start and the beginning of this takeover. What does this mean for your pockets? This means you are about to become a millionaire in the next few years. Without further ado, let me elaborate. First of all, one thing that you have to understand is Visa's network has got a transaction per second which is roughly around 1700 TPS. Now, if you take a look at the performance of Monad Crypto in the past 7 days, by the way, the mainnet was recently launched, and take a look at the number of TPS that we've had in the past 7 days. So, as it stands right now, Monad realistically is only having 146 TPS. 146 TPS is not really far off from what Visa and MasterCard is doing per second, because this is like literally a tenth of what they are doing. Now, you have to understand that Monad is something that has been created with the idea of scalability in the future. Moreover, Monad Crypto is created using the EVM. Therefore, we are going to be depending and relying on the amazing stuff that Ethereum has done in the past. However, Monad is way better because, according to this, right? Number one, like I already talked about, the TPS is extremely powerful. And Monad, by the way, did some internal tests. Obviously, this was like private, so the 10,000 transaction per second is a little bit far fetched because it hasn't really been tested in real time. Because a lot of times these blockchains have got like, very private simulations that can really guarantee very fast transactions per second. But according to the past, right, we have seen a lot of these claims really get challenged. Do you remember when Solana was able to break? Do you remember Ethereum also couldn't withstand the number of public demand that it faced at some point? So this is one of the reasons why 10,000 transactions per second is a little bit overwhelming, and it's a little bit of a stretch. Okay, so if you talk about the low latency and near instant finality really changes the game. And the most important thing about Monad is it has got very low transaction costs. The gas fees have been crazy. So if you go to Nomads, or rather Monads.com, right, this is obviously the underlying statistics behind the actual blockchain. This is what we're getting to see behind the scene, and this is something which you are supposed to be doing pretty much on a daily basis. So if you take a look at this, right, the highest gas price so far has been where can I find that detail? So look at this. Are you able to see this? The median fee so far has been around 0.0692 mon. So if you get to convert this into dollars, because you guys are infatuated with the dollar, so one monad is obviously slightly under 5 cents. So if we get to paste this, that's literally giving us less than a cent. Now, this is way cheaper than Visa and MasterCard, and this is obviously way much more feasible to a lot of people, because we've got people in the third world countries that can't really afford $3 transaction fees and so on and so forth. So having something which is this cheap is obviously going to be very powerful. And moreover, Monad is a cryptocurrency, therefore it is permissionless. When it comes to Visas and MasterCards, there's crazy KYC and there's a lot of barriers to entry, and you've got like a limited category of people that can get to utilize that particular platform. So if you talk about Monad, right, obviously anybody can literally sign up and use blockchain technology. It's permissionless, it's borderless, therefore the reach can be very vast. However, lack of adoption is one of the biggest challenges that Monad and a lot of other blockchain projects are facing. But we have, very popular cryptocurrencies such as Ethereum, Bitcoin being adopted in African countries that have got literally very minimal or bad internet connection. Now, imagine if there's going to be accessibility. And this is one of the reasons why in the next few years, Ethereum, Solana are going to be given the title of legends, but the companies that are going to be able to take over the business side of blockchain are the ones that are going to be able to be cheaper, faster, and just basically much more efficient when it comes to executing certain functionalities. And this is one of the reasons why, if you look at blockchains such as Monad, they have been created with that intention from the get-go, and this is one of the reasons why they are utilizing the Ethereum's EVM, because they can literally get the market share or the community behind Ethereum, or people who've been building stuff on Ethereum, to migrate to Monad seamlessly without any hurdles at all. And this is one of the reasons why I really believe it just takes that particular luck to sort of surpass Visa and MasterCard. And moreover, take a look at these stats. This has only been active in the past few days, but we are doing 1/10 of the throughput of Visa. That is absolutely crazy. And moreover, take a look at the other stats. If you take a look at the market capitalization of Monad, it's only 472 with a 4.3 billion US dollar market cap valuation. So, if you take a look at the discrepancy between the market cap of Monad Crypto and Visa, wow, Visa is absolutely in its trillions of dollars in terms of market capitalization. And this is one of the reasons why you, my friend, are extremely lucky. If you are watching me right now, I mean, the upside is absolutely sweet. You can literally get a 1000x return on your money. However, there is a caveat to this. This has to work out. There has to be adoption, and this is one of the reasons why we have to see that the ecosystem is doing very well. So what I challenge you to do is look at the blockchain stats on a daily basis. Make sure it has got that parabolic rise towards the upside. Figure out if the ecosystem not only related to meme coins, because yeah, meme coins are fun, people lose money, they make money, but meme coins are not really a sustainable way to get mass adoption, because most of the times people have got like mixed feelings when it comes to meme coins. It's either when it comes to meme coins, right? It's either you extremely make money or you extremely become poor because you literally lose all your net worth. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't honestly like meme coins, because it's just a love hate type of relationship. And this is one of the reasons why looking at the meme coin ecosystem is not really a guaranteed way to sort of understand whether a particular blockchain is doing very well. It's all about mass adoption. We need killer apps that are going to be used by non-crypto blockchain people. We need regular people to fall in love with a particular functionality. For example, if you take a look at AI, right? Everybody is sort of has got an idea about what AI is all about. WhatsApp, the WhatsApp messaging app is actually using AI right now. Facebook is utilizing AI. So this is one of the reasons why we are beginning to see mass adoption when it comes to AI. Those are the types of breakthroughs that we need in crypto. We just do not need speculation, monetary expectations of progress, by an esteemed collective few people. We need mass adoption, and we need programs. We need softwares that are going to be meant for mass adoption. That's the only way we are going to be able to entirely replace giants like Visa and Mastercard. And this is one of the reasons why right now the current statistics are very, very encouraging. 146 transaction throughput per second is absolutely good, 1/10 of what Visa card does on average. And good, because there's a lot of room and upside. To We've got a lot of potential, basically, in a nutshell. So anyway, let's take a look at some other stats. So far, the highest amount of fees that the Monad blockchain has received so far is 172 point 172.42 mon. I wonder how much was sent. This was obviously like a big transaction. Obviously, hundreds of thousands of dollars was sent in order for them to pay such an amount. And by the way, how much is 172 monad worth in terms of dollars? So let's say 173. That's literally $7. Can you imagine $7? And I guarantee you the transaction value was way over 200,000 US dollars. Correct me if I'm mistaken in the description box below. Anyhow, enough talk about the amazing technological capabilities of Monad. Now let's take a look at the price chart of Monad, because if you take a look at this, right, we are beginning to receive slowed growth, and I have talked about this in the past couple of episodes. If you listen to the previous episodes, link in the description, check out the cards that are going to be popping up. I told you the fact that let's go to tradingview.com. So please forgive me for being unprepared, but this is very important. So when Monad was listed, there was a lot of euphoria. There was a lot of excitement. A lot of people made money. A lot of people were selling. The treasury was beginning to offload and dump a lot of money onto the markets. This is obviously a lot of pressure, which is going to eventually lead to the price decline over time. So if you didn't really get to sell at the top, and I really believe the recent local high that we got as far as Monad is concerned was around 7 cents. Okay, if you didn't get to sell at 7 cents, right, obviously you are a little bit down, but it's not really too late to de-risk part of your position. I'm not saying look, exit and forget about Monad. All I'm trying to tell you is we are definitely going to experience like a slow growth momentum, because the hype is dying down and people are exiting, and the wait for another pump just becomes too treacherous, and people usually tend to exit the markets when they're not really seeing an explosive growth move. Waking up to 30% in a day is exciting. There's a lot of adrenaline, there's a lot of testosterone and oxytocin that's bubbling all up in your body. And when you see such types of growths in 24 hours, 3.9 is not really that exciting. People tend to get bored and they usually migrate to something which is shiner, which is amazing. And this is where we come in. You and I have got precision. We've got the foresight of seeing what's going to happen, and this is one of the reasons why I was very adamant about giving you a heads up. I told you, look guys, as much as this is exciting, this is not really conducive and it's not really favorable for price discovery, and at the rate at which the prices or rather the tokens are being offloaded, this is not really going to be sustainable. And I also told you that this is going to be most likely a double top, and this is the previous line of resistance that I had in the previous episodes. I did give you a very good warning. So what we want, what you and I are looking forward to, is the price retracing, because retracements are a healthy way of pushing ourselves towards the upside. So definitely, if you didn't lock in some profits at this particular moment, too bad. The price is probably going to continue dropping, and we're probably going to come back down to these levels right over here. We're probably going to come back down under 3 cents. This is most likely where I'm looking forward to, like, buying anything which is going to be under this level. I'm definitely going to be taking. So these levels right over here, this is what I'm expecting the price to do. So either we use the order block right over here, which is roughly around slightly above 3.5 cents, and if we find momentum right over here, then it's going to be explosive towards the upside. But that is highly unlikely. We are most likely going to retest the bullish order block right over here, which is roughly around 3 cents. And if you take a look at that if you take a look at that price drop, that's roughly like a 30% price drop, which is substantial. So I have warned you, short term we might see some crazy downside, but long term, by long term I mean in the next 3 to 5 years, granted, the ecosystem keeps evolving. The ecosystem sort of has got like a very huge following. And one thing that I always keep on talking about is I do not really like the way the tokenomics have been set up. So let me show you what I mean. So this right over here, the circulating supply, 10.8 billion in comparison to the total supply, which is like 100 billion. This right over here is very bad tokenomics. This is one of the reasons why when it comes to like upping in a lot of Monad, I'm not really going to do that. I'm probably going to hibernate and just wait for the deflation, or rather the dilution of the market circulating supply to sort of be above 70%. What I really like looking at is the circulating supply being over 70% already infused in the market. I do not like such type of stuff. Yeah, I understand there's obviously a lot of staking which is going to happen. So if you take a look at this, right, the pending stakes are 2.81 mon. A lot of developers who are going to be deploying on Monad are going to obviously be staking a lot of these mon coins, and this is one of the reasons why they need to gradually offload onto the market. But as somebody who wants to have like 1,000x, this is really bad for you and me, but it's very good for the treasury because they've got like a lot of money to burn. And ultimately this is going to be one of the reasons why, after all is said and done, as far as Monad is concerned, we're obviously going to see like a flat lining. So the best example that I can give you is Celestia. So if we go to TIA right over here, let me search for Celestia, TIA. So Celestia also had an amazing hype in the beginning. It had a similar trajectory, and the circulating supply versus the total supply is now coming to an equilibrium. And in the beginning, it was way off. It was a ridiculous ratio between the circulating supply and the total supply. And take a look at what happened. So we might experience the price of Monad having an explosive move and then gradually having this nasty downfall, for like a very long period of time. However, at some point it's going to balance out. It's going to balance out and then keep on pushing. So right now we're seeing the circulating supply and the total supply of Celestia really, really sort of balance out. And after all these long months of a bear market, it's finally going to start pushing towards the upside. And, this process has just begun for Monad. And this is one of the reasons why you have to de-risk. By de-risking, I do not mean dump everything and forget about it. Basically, just be comfortable. If we see a price decline and flat line and just basically go down for like a prolonged period of time. Anyhow, I do not want to be a perma bull or a perma bear. I'm just being realistic to you because I have experience. I've been in this game for the past decade, literally. Check out the longest, or rather the oldest video on my YouTube channel. You will figure out that I am an OG. I am a legend. Therefore, I got you. I do definitely am here for you so that you do not end up making the bad mistakes that I did, and hopefully you'll be able to make $1 million faster than I could have done in the past, because I'm giving you very good advice. So if you enjoyed my realistic perspective, please hit the like button and drop me a comment in the comment section below and let me know why you think Monad is going to be able to turn you into a millionaire. And by the way, how much airdrop allocation were you able to finesse from this particular blockchain? All that in the comment section below. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.